All set?
All set in here.
Yep. There's two of our members online. Am I ready to go, Jeffrey?
Yes.
I'm all set, Jeff, thank you.
There's nothing to comment on. There is no public comment this evening. No.
Well,
It's a subcommittee. It's a subcommittee. There's public comment tomorrow.
they got the wrong night too.
All right, it's Monday, August 4th, and welcome to your DGR subcommittee. In the chambers from this committee today, we have Counselor Sullivan, and online for this committee, we have Counselor Anderson Burgos and Counselor Devine. Also in the chambers are Counselors Bartley, Vacon, and Jordan. And we have Counselor Izzy Rivera online attending. And I do believe that's it. Did I miss anyone, Jeffrey?
That looks like everybody.
Okay, just making sure I could see everyone. All right, so we're getting started. It's 6:34 p.m. We can start with item 1.
Motion to take up item 1.
I guess I'll second that. All in favor?
Somebody got a second, okay? Kameen, you've all been here more than for a minute.
Thank you, Counselor Bartley. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Oh, and I have to read the thing for our online members. Sorry about that. So, and because we have 2 members online, I will entertain a motion to take a roll call vote for the purposes of this meeting that would be applicable to all motions to receive, refer items to committee, remove items from the table, place items on the table, package items together, comply with items, or suspend the rules unless there is an objection.
So moved.
All in favor?
So moved.
Aye.
And I
Aye.
think we have to do a roll call for that first one. So Counselor Sullivan,
Yes.
Counselor Devine,
Yes,
Counselor Anderson Burgos,
Yes.
and myself, Counselor Givner. Yes, thank you. All right. Now we'll continue with item 1, which is a public hearing for a special permit application of Alan Finney for the creation of a Finney Family Cemetery at 2 Finney Road. There are no updates to this item, so the person who's filed this application is waiting on information from the Mass Department of Environmental Protection. So I would entertain a motion to table this item to September 9th at 6:30, please.
So moved.
All in favor? Aye. I didn't hear anybody online. All in favor?
aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Motion to take up item number 2.
Aye.
Motion.
Second.
Motion to take up item 2 and open a public hearing.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. Item 2 is a special permit application for the home occupation of Robert Rose at 414 Hillside Ave, Suite 167, for a custom fabrication shop per section 4.8.2. And I'm not sure if someone is here online for this item. And I do not see anyone from the public here to speak about this item. Jeffrey, do you see a hand that I do not?
No, and the applicant did confirm the date. We got the hearing notice out and everything, so I'm not sure.
Okay, Counselor Jordan, you had a comment, question?
Yes, Madam Chair. I did want to just note there was an email from one of the neighbors today that came in opposition. I think the committee would be advised to consider that as part of the public hearing record. Thank you.
Point of order.
Sure.
I believe I read the letter, and the person who wrote the letter asked to remain anonymous. And I don't believe that we can accept an anonymous letter.
I didn't see anything about anonymous.
Yes, it's clearly in the letter. So,
Oh, okay, I read the email, but, I mean,
Madam Chair?
Counselor Bartley?
Yeah, just, first of all, hope everybody's doing well. It's been a while. Second off, Counselor Sullivan's exactly right. The person asked to remain anonymous. So I don't know if you can read that into the record, but what I will do, this happens to be in Ward 3, Madam Chair. I'll reach out to that, because I know that person very well.
Okay.
And so I'll reach out to that person, and we'll take it from there. And then relative to the main event, I think, out of fairness, we generally table these.
Yeah.
This has happened before. We table it and we put it forward to a date certain, and you get a second bite at the apple. If you don't show up, then the committee can do what it does at that point, okay?
Thank you, Counselor Bartley. Yeah, that would be my thoughts. Also, I do see one email here that is not anonymous. I would ask that that Jeffrey, if you could print out any emails that came in, or just add these to a file so that when we table this to another date, we have them all together.
I think that one in front of you is the one that was referenced before.
Oh, well, I have an email in front of me. I can read into the record. It says, "Good afternoon.
That's the one that.
That's
I
the
believe-
one. She wants to be anonymous.
Oh. Well, her name is on this.
Yes, her name is on it, but at the end she says, "I'd like to keep my name anonymous." So I think just out of respect to that person,
Yeah.
why don't we just
No,
leave it
that's
that
fine.
way?
Okay, so
And I'll reach out to her.
please. All right, so I would entertain a motion to close this public hearing as there's no one to speak on it.
well,
I would just continue it. Continue public hearing to a date certain.
Okay.
Please bring-
I'll entertain a motion to continue this public hearing to September 9th at 6:30.
so moved.
All right, all in favor? Aye?
All right. Okay.
Did you hear me
Motion-
say aye?
Motion to take up item number 3 and open a public hearing.
Second,
All in favor?
no?
Aye?
All right.
aye.
Item number 3 is the special permit application for the home occupation of Ella Sussman and Tyrone O'Banner at 1 to 9 Main Street for psychotherapy, psychiatric outpatient mental health practice per section 4.8.2. It's my understanding that these applicants are in the room today, so I'd love to have you speak on this business.
No charge.
This is,
Any use of my desk, any constituent.
that's Mr. Jordan right here.
My pleasure, nice to see you.
Okay,
Speaking to a normal voice, but it's,
Okay.
it'll pick up everything, okay?
okay, thank you.
Hi, welcome.
Thank you so much. So yeah, I'm a psychiatric nurse practitioner, and I've been practicing since 2015. And I've worked at Behavioral Health Network and Holyoke Medical Center and Bay State Medical Center. That's where I'm currently at. So I have a lot of experience treating the lifespan, and just interested in starting private practice. So it'd be pretty small, just be me, and it would be for primarily medication management appointments. So, I ideally would like to see some. Maybe I'm thinking I'm gonna continue to work with the lifespan. So, pediatric patients and some adults, and I would like to see geriatric patients, but I'll probably go to the nursing homes to see them and just use the residence as a home office.
Nice.
Yeah.
Counselor Bartley.
Yes, so I'll have a series of questions. So, you're Ella?
Yeah.
Okay. And Ella, thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Okay. And that's Tyrone?
Yeah.
Tyrone, okay, all right, thank you. All right. Who owns the building at 19 Martin?
So we both do.
You both do, okay. Do you reside there?
Yeah, we're residing there, so we're in a little bit of transition, but that's the idea, is that we're going to be residing there and also working out of the home. So we're still, with the baby, and sometimes we stay with my mom, but that's a primary residence.
Okay, so you own the home, but you don't currently occupy it as a primary residence, is that my understanding?
Well, it's going to be the primary residence, but we've been staying with family a little bit just to help out with the baby.
Okay, so that's one thing, and so I don't think we can issue a permit based upon an expectation. So it's gotta be, I'm glad you own the property, and I'm grateful you bought it. We're always grateful people invest in Holyoke, always. So, and that's just my opinion, but I think, and we'll have the law department speak on it, but I think to have a home occupation permit, I think you have to be, now, the argument might be, well, I intend to live there. Well, that, to me, that I won't vote for it if that's the case. If I intend to live there, do you know how many police chiefs and fire chiefs I've heard over the course of my career, I intend to move to Holyoke?
Yeah.
And I'm gonna pick on them, but they just came right to mind, okay? But there's been department heads. For 25 years, we had a department head, great leader. I intend to move to Holyoke. Never happened. So his intentions, but let me just finish, you can go. So I appreciate the intention, but ultimately you gotta live there. And you gotta be there. Second off, because I've heard pushback on this. Now, I don't like to vote against businesses ever, because I welcome businesses. And this is all to the chair too, so I should have said that earlier. But the chair is being kind and let me speak to you directly. So, as you know, it's a very narrow street, and there's already a business on there that seems to be doing very well, and we're happy they're there. But it leads to a little bit of congestion. So what's our thinking about having visitors to the office? What do we expect?
I mean, I don't think it would be a lot of foot traffic, because some of my patients I would be going and seeing in the nursing facilities. And then if it was going to be patients, I'm not going to see patients every day. I'd probably work part-time. And so the idea would be that, I would have one patient at a time, and, maybe the appointments would be 30 minutes. So it shouldn't be a lot of foot traffic.
Right. And so it would be how many during the day?
So I'm not really sure. I mean, it could be like, if I'm working an 8-hour day, maybe 8 patients a day.
Okay, and they're not going to be walking there, I don't think. They're going to be taking their cars.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm not really about the foot traffic, but they're going to be driving there and parking.
Yeah.
So where are we going to have them park other than on the street? Do we have a thought about off-street parking?
Yeah. I think there's.
Well, nobody can hear you, but let me just speak to your wife and we'll deal with it. Okay?
Yeah. So there are parking spaces right in front of the dog spa, and then the on-street parking. So.
Yeah. So that would certainly be one of the major asks. Mm-hmm. And it wouldn't just be an ask. I would make it a condition of the permit. I would try to make it a condition of the permit that we, to the extent possible, you limit the on-street parking.
Yeah.
It's just a massive issue for that neighborhood. Second, what are we thinking our hours are going to be? Monday through Friday, I presume?
No. So I would probably work maybe 2 or 3 days at most in the week. And it might be like a 6-hour day or something like that.
Okay, so no weekends?
No.
No weekends. Okay, so, all right, no weekends. And then during the weekdays, it would be by appointment?
Yes, it would be by appointment.
Okay, weekdays by appointment. Okay. And generally, what would our hours be?
So I'm looking at probably 6 hours, but it might be like 8 with charting, but like 6 hours of like working with patients.
Yeah, what time will we tee off usually, and what time will we
So
conclude?
maybe it'd be like 10, so like maybe 10 a.m. would start. And then, I do think that like it might be a little bit of like some in the morning, some evening appointments, depending on patient schedules. So like I know for kids, a lot of times they need to be seen after school. So, it might be like a little bit like, not like a consistent day, but coming and, seeing patients for a little bit in the morning and a little bit in the evening.
So what time do you think you would go to?
Wouldn't
not
be
11
late. It'd be
p.m.
like,
surely,
no,
but maybe
no.
5 p.m.?
Yeah,
or
it'd probably be like 6 p.m. at the latest.
6 p.m.
Yeah.
Okay. So 10 a.m. to 6 p.m.? Or, okay, so your last pay should be like 5:30? Okay, all right. Okay, and what would you have for signage, that sort of thing? Did you need to have signage out there? Did you need to put a sign?
No, so I wouldn't have any signage. No,
All right.
I mean, maybe there'd just be like a plaque on the door that identifies, but.
Yeah, just something on the door. Okay, but there wouldn't be anything hanging off the building, so no signage, just something on the door. Okay, door only. All right. Okay, by appointment, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. So if you're, so one of the big requirements is certainly the park. So anytime when we do zone changes of permits, parking, noise, traffic, lights, those are like your, no, it's okay, I love it. It's great, it's a great sense of music.
Thank you.
So don't stress that nonsense, that's fine. So parking, I mean, I can't ban people from parking on the street, but you can imagine I get calls like this because
Yeah.
it's only, and it doesn't happen frequently, so I don't make it sound like it's New York City, but when there's cars on either side, it makes really for a one-lane road,
Yeah.
and that makes it difficult. So there's got to be extra sensitivity to that.
Yeah.
And I know you've got parking on the, I guess that'd be the north side of the building.
Yeah.
And I don't really see people parking there that often. It's not the safest place to pull out of, for sure. So you've got to be
Yeah.
kind of, vigilant and vigilant, I should say, in that.
Yeah.
So that's just something that's a big concern,
Yeah.
for sure.
I can understand. And I don't think it's going to be like fully where like the whole day is seeing patients, they're coming in and out like a revolving door. Like I think some of my patient population is going to be where I go and see them at their facility for the geriatric patients. And then some of the patients I may offer Zoom appointments or like remote. So I think my idea is like mostly that, it's a place where I have, a home office, but then I can see some patients in person. But my plan isn't to like have it be like back-to-back patients throughout the day. It would be more like, kind of meeting patients where they're at.
Yeah, wonderful. And we all want you to have nothing but success. Believe me, nothing but success. So, and again, we're happy for the investment. I just have to
Yeah.
stick up for everybody,
yeah.
because
I
it's
understand.
just one of those things. So,
Yeah, I don't want it to be a disruption where it's like, bringing in a lot of cars or anything like that.
all right. So my final comment would just be, I guess I don't sit on this committee, but I'm gonna, until we get a firm date where you're, not just your plan,
Yeah.
the firm date. Now, that's my position. I suppose the committee could ask the attorney for the city that's online, and I suppose that attorney for the city, she could probably say, well, if it's your intent to move there, but
Yeah, and I think it's mostly just like, getting the room settled, getting the stuff there, like just kind of a move-in process. But it is the primary residence. It's just more like, it's been a bit of a transition just to move in.
I can't even imagine, of course. Clearly, it's nobody's,
So just making sure it's all, it's kind of set up and ready to go. Like, but yeah, like that's, it is the primary, we don't have another primary residence. So that would be it's just getting everything moved in and for the kids.
and you think that might happen?
I mean, my plan is September.
September.
Yeah. So I would like to by the end of September at the latest.
Okay. All right. And you heard the chair say that the chair's going to have another meeting September 9th? Mm-hmm. So after everybody does their thing, ask their questions, I'm going to ask the chair to continue this meeting to September 9th, because it doesn't sound like this is going to happen
Imminently.
before then.
Yeah.
And this will give you some breathing room.
Okay.
And then I'll happily give you my number and my email afterwards, and you can maybe keep in touch with me
Okay.
as we go. Again, I'm just a ward counselor. I'm a nobody. Okay, I'm just one vote here. That's all I am. I'm not dictating at all. Just super clear on that. So, but I'm just giving you my take. I've been here more than half a minute. So that's that. So thank you for your good answers.
Thank you.
Okay. I noticed Counselor Devine online has her hand up. Counselor Devine?
Thank you, Madam Chair. My only question at this point is, how long would each appointment be?
So I would do 30 minutes for a follow-up appointment and an hour if it was a new patient.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Thank you. Are there any members of the public online or anyone in the chambers who wanted to ask a question? Counselor Jordan?
When were you thinking of starting? If you had your,
I'm in the process of getting credentialed with insurances, and I guess it's a process. So
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
working to get Medicare for the older adults, and then the major insurances in the area, so like Aetna, Tufts, and I've been told it can vary, but it can be several months. So that process has been going on since like July. So I think that I was thinking October, but it'll depend on the insurances. Yeah.
so we have a little bit of time.
Yeah.
And then you can work through whatever and come back and see us, and we can do something hopefully to help you.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Counselor Jordan. Any other? Oh, Counselor Devine, is your hand up again?
Yes, thank
Okay.
you. Were the neighbors notified of this meeting tonight?
Yes, this was a regular public hearing with notification to the neighbors.
Okay, and nobody has objected that you're aware of?
Not as of yet.
Okay, thank you.
Madam Chair, there is one hand up on Zoom.
Oh, I don't see it. Sorry, it must be on the next page.
It's in the attendees, yeah.
Okay.
That's the Zemrox.
I see the hand. So the Zemrox,
Hi, can you hear me?
yes.
Okay, so again, we are the Zimrocks. We reside on Hitchcock Street, and we are one of the people who are not for this at all. This is more just a comment. Residing here for over 25 years, I've seen an increase in traffic on the street that has caused several accidents. One with a little boy dying on our yard years ago before we resided here, because I mean, our street to begin with is a speedway. I mean, it's the speed humps on Westfield Road have done absolutely nothing. You still have cars flying over them. And the businesses, when it comes to the other ones that are there, those ones are just drop and go, so we don't have a problem with that. But when it's school time and the school's getting out, because we have Blessed Sacrament that is just down the road, I mean, it's already nearly impossible to get off our street. And it's ridiculous because there have been several times that I've almost gotten like head-on collision because cars will just come flying around the corner. Or I can't get off my street because only one car can fit down at a time because there's cars parked on both sides. So I do believe that if they were to open a business, then they should have an accommodation for parking or something for their patients. I understand it's only 30 minutes, but that 30 minutes, especially at rush hour when the school is letting out, it gets pretty hectic on our street.
Thank you. Counselor Sullivan, did you have something? Counselor Bartley?
Yeah, and that's just not to go do crosstalk with another counselor, but I've heard from numerous neighbors, so they contact me. But as you know, Madam Chair, just like we heard in the prior public hearing, a lot of neighbors just prefer anonymity. So that's, and I admire the Zemrocks for speaking out, but that's why I'm going to get the contact intel, and then we'll probably figure something out right in the neighborhood, and whatever it is, we'll figure it out. So, but I've had numerous neighbors contact me, though they may not be here tonight. Mm-hmm. The Zemrocks, I admire them for being here, but there have been numerous others. I just want to make that clear. Thank you.
All right, well, then it sounds like we'd like to continue this public hearing to September 9th at 6:30, and that will give those who wish to say something a chance to either Zoom in or come in and speak on behalf or against this, because I do think it's important that people not just reach out to their city councilors, but that they also have their own voice, which I know our city councilors represent us, but it is important for someone trying to start a business to hear from the people who may be for or against it. So, any other questions before we close this public hearing? I'll entertain that.
No, we're not close.
I'm sorry, before we continue this public hearing to September 9th at 6:30? All right. Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, this is continued to the 9th. Thanks so much. Good luck.
Okay, motion to take up item number 4 and open a public hearing.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. All in favor?
All right,
Aye.
Item
Aye.
4, opening the public hearing for a special permit application of L.N. Bernacchi, Inc. for a motor vehicle repair garage in the IG zone at 37 Appleton Street, per section 7.2.13. Let's see here. Is, who do I see online here?
right.
Hello.
Is that Mr. Cravo for this item? All right, welcome.
Great, thank you.
You can tell us a bit about this project and what you have in mind.
Sure. Good evening. My name is Philippe Cravo of R. Levesque Associates. I'm here tonight representing the applicant, L.N. Bernash, for the special permit for the motor vehicle repair garage. The site is located at the corner of Appleton and Canal Street. There was formerly a building across the entire site. That building has since been razed, and American Environmental is utilizing the site, owns and utilizes the site for parking of their larger vehicles, and has been doing so for the past, I believe, at least a year or so. We are proposing, just to start off, we have been in front of planning, we have received planning approval, we have been in front of conservation, we have received conservation commission approval. We've also been in front of DPW for the stormwater permit and received approval there. So we've been in front of all the other different boards and commissions prior to being here tonight, and received approval there. The applicant is proposing a 2-story, 26,000 square foot building to repair their own vehicles on site. They're a demolition company, so they have large excavators, big trucks, crane trucks, things like that. And they just want to construct a facility that they can service and repair their own vehicles. I do have a site plan, if it makes sense for me to share a site plan.
I think that'd be helpful. Jeffrey, can you give him access?
You should be set to share.
Okay, perfect. Let me see here. Screen two. Okay, so you should be looking at a site plan right now?
Yes.
Okay. I'm gonna pull up the Holyoke GIS to give you a perspective as to where the site is located. This is Appleton Street, running kind of in a northwesterly direction here. And this is Canal Street, and it's this 4-acre parcel, just over 4-acre parcel at the corner of the streets right here. So that gives you some sense of where the site is. And this is what is being proposed. So, like I said, previously there was a building that spanned across this entire site. So that building is gone. We are proposing 2 new curb cuts onto Canal Street with these curb cuts located here, a new 26,710 footprint building here. The rear service bay area will just be open from floor to ceiling, but the front portion here will have a showroom and an office space will be 2 stories. So there'll be a first floor showroom, retail, office space, and then also office space on the second floor. The building goes front to back essentially on the parcel, so there will be parking on the right-hand side here with service bay doors along this face of the building. The curb cut here with employee and visitor parking all in this area. Some truck parking back here, and the service bays along the building here. Essentially, the circulation of the site, cars will come into the site through this curb cut, park, and exit. There won't be any or very minimal, if any, through the building traffic. That's that. If I can scroll to the next sheet, I can show you the utility. The stormwater system will connect out to Canal Street. There'll be a larger subsurface system here to collect stormwater through on-site catch basins to infiltrate and treat the stormwater before discharging it to the drainage system in Canal Street. There are light poles, parking light poles located throughout the site. We have a photometric plan which has been was reviewed by the planning board and approved through that process. There's the canal across the street with a 100-foot buffer that extends onto the property here. Like I said, we've been in front of the Conservation Commission and received approval through an order of conditions issued by the Conservation Commission. Water, sewer, all the other utilities will be connected onto Canal Street. There are, with the existing utilities that are present in Canal Street. I think that's a pretty good overview of the project. So if there's any specific questions, I can certainly try to answer them.
Thank you, Philippe. Counselor Sullivan?
Yeah, I guess this is just a point of order to start with. We actually have 2 special permit applications in front of us right now. They're both related, but I don't see, I want to make sure we do this right. The main one, the meat of this order is the for the garage itself, which is being presented here. There's also attached with it a second one, which is, in my opinion, kind of minor, but for a increase in fence size. So are we taking both of these up together or separately?
Oh, that's a good question. I thought we were taking them all up together because they came in as one package. I'm not sure if we can.
Well, it looks like a misprint on the one of our famous Scribner errors here. Maybe it's got an A and then nothing after it, no BC, whatever, on our agenda here.
Counselor Bartley?
Yeah, I'm just not, I only see one, Mike, just to be fair to Mike Sullivan, Council Sullivan. So Mike, I see the special permit application for Ellen Bernesh for motor vehicle repair garage in the IG zone. What's the other one you're looking at?
Yeah.
The other ones should be with it.
Is for a special permit for an increase in fence height.
Okay, is it on? No, I see those. Yeah, ma'am, sure, thank you, I do, but I don't see it on our agenda.
And that's what I'm saying.
Well,
If
if it's not on our agenda, I find it hard to figure out how we can vote, how you can take action on it, to be honest, on the fence. I don't see how that's possible.
Just to clarify, we were in front of, I know we received a special permit from the planning board for the fence height. Is there, I guess there's also a separate special permit through the city council, for the same? I guess is the question.
Just through the chair to the applicant, I gotta be truthful, I'm not familiar with that. I think you get the special permits for fence height through planning. I don't think you do it through city council, but I'm getting confused on this here,
Thank
so,
you, Counselor Bartley. I think Counselor Bacon was saying the same thing.
well, if she's saying the same thing, then Councilor Bartley's right again. Is that what you're saying?
Hallelujah.
Well, I know that the fence height hearings are held at the planning board, and I've never seen a fence height special permit here.
So
Right.
maybe this is just part of the package, and
I
we're
think
just
so.
seeing it. We're not voting on this. It's just part of this whole project.
That's what it is,
my
yeah.
Yeah, that sounds
impression.
right.
I think you're just, I think you're good to go. The special permit application for a motor vehicle repair garage.
Okay, great. Let's continue. Counselor Bacon?
Maybe I missed it, but was parking mentioned? I might have just missed it.
Philip or Mr. Cravo?
Yes, yep, we have parking, up in our table of parking calculation. I can zoom into the parking calculation here. So there's a required 59 parking spaces. We are providing 59 parking spaces. That was thoroughly reviewed. We have an opinion from Davin, I believe the code enforcement officer, that was accurate. So we are providing the required number of parking spaces.
Okay, that's great, because we often hear about problems with parking, so that's really good to hear. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Counselor Bacon. Counselor Bartley?
Thank you, through chair. Just follow up on what Councilor Bacon was asking. How many vehicles are you gonna have on site at any one time?
So there are 7 bays, 7 sort of lanes through the building. Whether there's, there could be one, they're large enough for smaller vehicles to kind of put one in front of the other, but for the larger vehicles, there will only be one in each bay. So there's 7 bays through in the building, and then we have 7 parking spaces for the larger type vehicles in the back, towards the rear of the site here.
Okay, so, so is the building gonna be, is the building gonna be secured every night?
Yes.
Okay, and the 59 parking spaces you just referenced, I got my, those are out external parking
Yes.
spaces? Okay.
Correct.
Okay, so you probably won't even come close to needing those, will you?
No, I don't think we'll come close to.
Oh,
to
okay,
needing
all right. And then just who is 37 Appleton LLC?
That is, I believe that's, let me just, that's the property owner, just to be accurate, but that's just, I think, part of American Environmental.
All right, so,
Just a different LLC that owns the property, but the facility is going to be utilized by American Environmental.
okay, so is American Environmental, do they also own 37 Appleton LLC?
Yes, yep.
Okay, that's what I thought, you didn't say that, but that's what I thought you said, or meant. Did they, and I don't even know if it's necessary, but, is there a lease between 37 Appleton LLC and then, Ellen Bernash Inc.? I don't think you have to have one, but it sure would be nice if it was in the package, and I don't see it in your package, establishing the relationship between the LLC and the corporation. Because how do I know? How do I know unless I ask you that they're good to go to be in that building?
So Ellen Bernash is the developer of the property. They're the ones they're kind of the general contractor that is going to be building the facility for American Environmental.
Okay.
Or the LLC.
Ellen Bernash is a general contractor gonna create the structure.
Correct.
Okay, the name of the business is going to be what?
American Environmental. I have a architectural plan that I can pull up that shows the signage that's proposed on the building.
No, it's okay. I don't need that, but I'm sure it looks nice. So, so American Environmental is, so it's 37 Appleton LLC, DBA American Environmental?
I think 37, they might be separate entities. I'm not exactly sure how, American Environmental is utilizing the different, business entities that they have. They might have like sort of a real estate entity that owns the property, and I'm not sure if, they're leasing it to themselves essentially. I'm not sure, the inner workings of the,
Right. So on the deed, so this is quite amazing. So we have a deed from HRA. HRA sold this property, I should say, containing 4.33 acres for $1, and it was recorded in March of 2017. Now, I'm all for good deals, and I'm all for development in the city of Holyoke. But this has been what happened between 2017 and August 1st, 2025. Was there something there for the last 8 years?
I know there was a building previous on the site. I'm not sure what it was used for or who owned it. But
May I, with the
Go
chair's
ahead.
permission?
Counselor
So,
Sullivan?
this was a formerly abandoned, I want to say Atlas Copco, but it was something before that. During World War II, they actually made howitzers in there. The structure was caving in and abandoned. American Environmental in the deal came in and saved the city approximately $1.5 million in the demolition of the structure. They've also gone through hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of underground remediation and removal of underground oil tanks from the previous operations that went on there. And that's what has gone on since then. They've used it primarily for the storage of containers, vehicles, heavy equipment, excavators, and such for their business. So what they did and what they worked out as far as the remediation of basically a brownfield site has been fantastic and really nothing but a boon to the city. So that's the history of the site itself.
Mike, that's a huge help. I really appreciate knowing that, because without that background, it seems a little bizarre. So what happened was HRA took ownership of the property. It was a brownfield site. This company bought it, did the demo work, cleaned it up, and now it's got the site ready for redevelopment.
Correct.
Okay, Mike, that's wonderful. Okay, that's very helpful.
Yep.
So I figure if anybody knew this stuff, it'd be Mike Sullivan.
I know a little bit about that area.
So I guess the one thing, just a petitioner, I guess I don't need it now, but before I make a vote on this, I'd like to see what the relationship is between, or somebody put in writing to me, or between 37 Appleton LLC and then American Environmental. So whether it's some sort of a letter allowing the use, or explaining the partnership, or just providing a lease, that would be kind of critical to this, because I think we have to know exactly what the connection is. So other than that, sounds like it's going to be a real winner and a great plan for the city. Thank you.
Thank you, Counselor Bartley and Counselor Sullivan. Do we have any other, Counselor Jordan?
Yeah, thank you. Question to the gentleman, just these vehicles that are gonna be used, what type of things will they be hauling? Is it, like construction debris or what
Yeah,
other?
so there won't be storing any construction debris on site. These are the vehicles that they use for their the heavy equipment that they use for their demolition, for demolition purposes. So they're, you know, the large excavators and all the, you know, the appurtenant vehicles that go along with it. So there's not gonna be any debris hauled onto the site. These are just the vehicles that go off-site to the job sites, do the demo, and then come back for service.
Okay. And are you gonna be washing the vehicles and otherwise maintaining the vehicles in this location and then storing them in the building at night? Is that the plan?
Not sure there's any plans for there's a rear lane here that I believe is separate, that has the crane on it, but I don't think there's any vehicle washing per se on site. You know, you would have containment tanks and all that for an operation like that, which, you know, haven't been brought.
Okay. All right. So anything like that because I guess I was just wondering what type of debris, and if this is the sort of storage and maintenance, I was wondering, you know, are they hosing down the vehicles at night and stuff running into drains or onto the pavement surfaces that might be there? I was just kind of wondering what type of materials were being going through the site.
Sure. No,
But you say there's
totally
not going to be any washing of vehicles or any sort of debris whatsoever.
correct.
All right.
And the stormwater system has been designed with proprietary water quality units that have certain capacity for hydrocarbons, floatables, things of that nature. So, you know, any incidental stuff that does get onto the site and gets into the stormwater system does get contained, you know, either first in the catch basin, a hooded catch basin, and then through the water quality unit.
Yeah. Do you let's put it this way, did conservation or the DPW or planning make any requirements of you to put special protectors or other things in the drains on the site to capture oil or debris or other things from these vehicles?
Yes, so that's that sort of treatment train that we have proposed on the site.
Okay, and you've received a permit for that, and that's all
Yes.
approved? Okay,
Yes.
very good.
Yeah, we went through that whole process, and you know,
Okay.
any overhead doors, so within the building, there are floor drains that get routed separate from the sanitary waste that go through an oil water separator before it gets discharged into the sanitary system as well.
Yeah, we've run into that issue with other projects. So basically, relative to neighbors or anybody, there would not be anything here that would have any potential nuisance to any neighbor. For example, you're not storing anything that's potentially flammable. You're not storing anything that could have a tremendous odor or any. This is basically rocks, construction debris, these kind of things. There might be some dust, but nothing that would even be noticeable by neighbors or passerbys or anything like that. Is that correct?
Right, so nothing of that nature. This has been reviewed, you know, by the fire department. We have the green light from the fire department. There will be some storage of, you know, the maintenance, the materials, the oils and, you know, hydraulic fluids for the maintenance of the vehicles within the building. But those
Okay.
each have their own separate containment systems, you know, specifically designed for those types of materials within the building.
Okay. Any storage of any like diesel fuel or anything like that?
No, there's no fuel proposed, there's no storage of fuel on site. There is a underground propane tank towards the rear of the site next to the dumpsters off the backside in this location, but that's an underground propane tank.
And I'm assuming you already received a permit from whatever appropriate authority to have that.
Yes, yep.
Okay,
Been reviewed.
all right. Very good. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
All right.
Madam
Thank you, Counselor Jordan. Counselor Bartley?
I just heard from one of the members of the committee. She just wanted me to reach out. She's not feeling well, so it's Carmen. So she,
Yes, we've been made aware.
okay, she expressed her apology. She just sent me an email, so I just wanted to let you know.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Counselor Sullivan?
Yeah, so, a question here for Felipe. Have they given you any idea of hours of operation here?
Yeah, 7 to 5 is the range that we're looking at for this facility, Monday to Friday, and potentially Saturday work within those same hours.
Okay, so, we have here, 19 conditions put forth by the planning board. I don't see that mentioned in there, so I would want to see that in as a,
Is there a question there?
I'll defer to Bart.
Oh, Counselor Bartley?
Madam Chair, yeah, just through the chair to Mike. So one of the items that we've heard about over the course of time is that we don't necessarily want to put a blanket kind of a condition from the planning board into our special permit. This is their recommendation to us. So I don't know if we can, put it this way, I'm trying to go through this right now. A lot of this stuff is speculative, so I don't know if you have to include it in the special permit condition. Maybe the chair would want to possibly talk to the law department about that aspect, to suspend the rules. You might want to do that, ask the law department what the law department would recommend for these 19 conditions. Plus, they'll give me a second to read this.
Thank you, Counselor Bartley.
Do we have someone on from the law department?
Yeah, I see Solicitor Bissonette online. Can you speak to these conditions? And I'm under the impression that this decision is made and that these conditions should be attached to allowing this business to operate in Holyoke. So I don't fully understand the question, but Counselor Bissonette, if you could answer Counselor Bartley's question.
I think you can add to your vote a provision that adopts all of the requirements laid down by the planning board. However, you can't just use the language that says we adopt the planning board. You have to get specific and lay out each of those that they've laid out as part of your granting the special permit. I think effectively that will satisfy adding those requirements as a recommendation. You are, of course, free to reject any of the recommendations that you like.
Gotcha. Does that answer your question, Counselor Bartley?
Yeah, I think basically what Mike is saying is that he agrees with us, is that, so if you want to if you want to have a condition added to our special permit, we can't just say, add the letter. And there's some of these things on here that.
Right.
that
So I guess I'm
aren't
wondering.
really applicable, so.
I'm wondering which items you think
Yeah,
you would like to not see on here for
Well,
whatever
having just
reason.
received this a minute ago, I can tell you that if I was given 5 more minutes, I could probably go through it and give you my take on it. But I need about 5 minutes to go through it. So just, somebody sing a song or something. Just give me a minute. I mean, if you look at it, if you look, the first 6 are easy. One says you got to record a vote. Well, everybody knows that, so you got to record a vote, but that's on them. And then you've got to adhere to building ordinances. Well, everybody knows that. I mean, so you got to pay your public. Number 3 is pay your bills for the public advertising. Well, they know that. Okay. You got to provide hard copies of the plan to the building department. I'm sure they've done that already. Number 5, this is a great one. Project is subject to any local, state, and federal requirements. Okay, well, you don't have to add that. Everybody knows that. So number 6 is you got to come back to the planning department in 6 months. Well, I never heard of that one before, but that's up to you guys if you want to. I mean, I'm okay with it, but then if you provide, and you got to give a project update to the planning board. I mean, that seems kind of duplicative, but if you guys want to approve it, then fine. Number 8 is speculative. Number 9 is speculative. Number 10 is pro forma, so they got to do that anyhow. Number 11 is pretty pro forma as well, because if you change something in the plan, you got to go back to the planning board. The engineer knows that. Okay, in number 12, prior to the layout and installation of the plantings approved within the landscape plan, within 48 hours, staff may inspect the plant materials. Now, there you go. I mean, do you want to have the city inspecting the plantings? I'm just saying. Do you want to require that of these guys? They're building a 2-story building. But that's up to you. Number 13 is prior to the issuance of any permanent CO, the applicant shall submit to the planning board all digital files. Okay, well they know that. The engineer knows that already. Okay, here's one. Snow stockpiling shall not be allowed upon any required parking spaces or in the public way. Well, first off, if it's their parking space on a private lot, we can't dictate where they plow their snow. So I don't know where they're coming off saying that. But we certainly know you can't stockpile snow in a public way. So I don't think you should include that. Mm-hmm. I don't know how you even get away with saying that in a letter. Okay, if they need temporary storage, they have to go back to the building commissioner. Well, they know that. That's our city or sidewalks and walkways must comply with all mass accessibility. Oh, did the petitioner say they're going to have 2 curb cuts?
Yes. Yep.
Okay. What is your name, sir? Sorry, I didn't get it.
Philippe Cravo.
Hey, Philippe. Okay. Madam Chair? Just through the chair to Philippe. Philippe, to get curb cuts, you have to apply to the Board of Public Works. I presume you're already doing that?
Yes, so the curb cut applications are sort of a construction period permit. So right prior to construction, that's when that permit gets pulled. But the curb cuts have been approved through the planning, site plan review process with the planning department. Okay.
I mean, the rest of these, Madam Chair, thank you, Philippe. Yeah, I mean, this is a reputable firm representing a very reputable contractor that they know how to do business. I mean, I don't really necessarily think, you guys can do what you want, but a lot of these are just very repetitive. Mm-hmm. I think the hours of operation, and they know the permit's good for a year. Everybody knows that. So the hours of operation, I think, are really important to lay out for the public. So, and as the petitioner already knows, if they need to amend that, then they come back to City Council, file the amendment, and do it. So, that's just it. I think they've got everything laid out here pretty darn well. So the bottom line is, I don't think it would hurt you to adopt this, but I don't think it's necessary.
Okay, thank you, Councilor Bartley. The only thing I would say about the things that are redundant or seemingly obvious is I think this is a good effort on the city side to clean up some of the applications and to make some of the things that are that seem so obvious to contractors, to make these things more obvious to other people who might be doing these things for the first time. So if it's not a problem, I don't see it obstructing any of the progress of the project, but it just lays out things more clearly in writing on the city side so that, you know, we can say, yes, we did ask for these things and they are, so we expect them to get done. So that's my only thought on that, but I do understand where you're coming from, Councilor Bartley. Councilor Sullivan?
Yeah, no, I'm all in favor of this. I just have a couple of questions for Felipe. In other projects you've done in other cities, have you seen anything like this with 20 different conditions, including any change in the type of shrubs or flowers? And this one, especially for fence height, you know, every construction fence I've seen has always been, I believe, 8 feet.
Yeah, so the special permit for the fence through the planning department, I guess to answer the first question is that every city has their own process, and the process that's in Holyoke right now is that, you know, for a temporary construction fence, you need a special permit, and then also for any permanent fencing over 4 feet, you would need a special permit as well. So it's just anything, if you want to have a fence, you just need a special permit through the planning department. So that's all, that's what that special permit is for, really. Basically, it's just the fence.
Okay.
That answers your question, but
Very diplomatic of you, yeah. So, all right, I'm good.
Thank you, Councilor Sullivan. Councilor Bacon?
Yeah, just through the chair to the applicant, is the applicant comfortable with the listed conditions on the letter from planning?
yes, you know, I just, you know, as they were read through, they're all pretty standard conditions, I would say.
Yeah.
For, you know, they would probably apply to any project that's being permitted through the city right now. So
And-
there's nothing super site-specific, but they're all reasonable and acceptable.
And what about the snow thing?
Yep, that's totally fine. We have,
Oh, you won't be
Spot
on the,
on
you have
site.
enough other land that you won't have to worry about the parking spaces? Is that it?
correct. There's
Okay.
enough other, you know, pavement, and you know, like we said before, you know, there's 59 parking spaces on the site, so not sure if we're going to be all utilized, but that's what's required.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Bacon.
Do we have anybody online against, in opposition?
So I don't see any members of the public in the chambers, and I don't see any hands up on Zoom. Can you confirm that, Jeffrey, since I've missed things before?
I see no hands up either.
Thank you.
So
And, yes?
I'd be willing to make a motion to approve the
Special permit.
approve the special permit with the one following condition that the hours of operation are 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Saturday.
Second.
All right. So.
Madam Chair? Just a technical thing. I think you still have to make a motion to close the public hearing.
Oh, thank you.
I'll get that right one of these days. Okay, motion to close the public hearing.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. Oh, thank you. Roll call vote. Councilor Sullivan?
Yes.
Councilor Anderson Burgos?
Yes.
Councilor Devine?
Yes.
Myself, Councilor Givner, yes. So that's anonymous. Thank you. And so that was a motion to approve this special permit, adding the hours of 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Saturday. And if I'm understanding this right, also accepting the conditions of the planning board. And the conditions are 1 through,
We don't want to include that. We're just putting our own on. our own one condition.
We're gonna accept the special permit with one condition that states the hours of operation, and that's it?
Yep.
And all these items have to be taken care of anyway, through the city, correct?
Yep.
All right, sounds good to me. Yeah. So can I get a second, just with these hours of operation?
Second,
All in favor? Aye.
aye.
Roll call.
Roll call vote. Counselor Sullivan?
Yes.
Counselor Devine?
Yes,
Counselor Anderson Burgos?
Yes.
Counselor Givner, myself, yes. All right, and with that, this special permit is recommended for approval to City Council. We will meet tomorrow at 7 p.m. Thank you, Mr. Cravo.
Great. Thank you, everyone.
Counselor Devine, did you have your hands up for something?
yes, I did, Madam Chair. I just want to let
sorry.
you know that on item 2, Mr. Rose is he is there on Zoom.
Thank you, Counselor Devine. I did
Thank you.
get that memo and wanted to recognize Mr. Rose. Mr. Rose, when we actually continued your public hearing to September 9th, but if you'd like to speak on it, can we reopen the,
It's been continued.
oh, sorry.
Absolutely not.
Okay, well,
No.
that's fine. Nothing to get upset about. Thank you for that
I'm gonna-
clarification. Okay.
I'm getting stared at.
Yeah, sorry, Mr. Rose, the public hearing was continued to September 9th. It's going to be again at 6:30, and we continued it because you weren't present, and we wanted to make sure that you were present for that. So I'm sorry. I'm sorry that you missed that item. All right. So this is continued. This is not.
Okay, motion to take up item number 5.
5 and 6 go together, don't they?
Second,
Yeah, want to take 5 and 6 as a package?
second,
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Item 5 is from Adam Mulcahy and Christine Gesk, notification of intent to sell under MGL. And from number 6 is from Kestrel Land Trust, a letter regarding the right of refusal for the Mountain Road parcel under Chapter 61A. So let's see, who's here for this item? I see Bridget Likely from Kestrel Land Trust is online, and I see Adam Mulcahy is here. Yeah, I guess since item 5 is first and we're speaking of these together, Adam, would you like to speak on this item? Adam, would you like to speak on the intent to sell? I see some activity.
Yeah, I
Oh,
don't
there we
really have
go.
much to say. It's pretty straightforward. You guys have a timeline though, August 28th, so you've got 4 weeks to act on it and either move it to Kestrel or to the private sale. I just hope you guys can figure it out. That's about it. If there's any questions, you can ask me, but I don't have a lot to add to the conversation.
I have a question.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Mulcahy. Councilor Bacon?
Thank you. Through the chair to Mr. Mulcahy, do you have a purchase and sale agreement on the property already?
Yeah, you guys should have all that.
Okay,
It was
I just
for
don't have it. in front of me.
215, it's for 215,000.
Right, okay. I have seen it. I'm just sorry I don't have it in front of me right this second. I'm sure the committee does.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Here's the Kestrel items. This is just their,
Oh, Madam Chair, can I just ask him a question? Through the chair, Mr. Mulcahy?
sure,
Yes.
Yes, thank you for,
yeah, here it is.
thank you for being here. Oh, listen, look at this, I got something here. Mr. Mulcahy, who is Jose Ramos? And is he here?
That would be the buyer. I don't know where they are. That is the interested buyer who has made a offer on the land.
Okay, so Mr. Ramos wants to, he gave you a contract for 250, you have a signed contract, Mr. Ramos, for $215,000. And you're anticipating closing this when? On the 28th?
Yeah, your 120 days runs out on, I believe it was the 28th, when every department was notified. So you've got 4 more weeks to bounce it back to regular city council and vote on it, or you lose the right to first refusal.
Okay, thank you. All right, and just so I'm clear, Mr. Mulcahy, if we do exercise it and Kestrel comes in, it's your understanding that what? Kestrel purchase it pursuant to the contract terms?
Yeah, I believe so. That's kind of on your end with your lawyer and everything. But yeah, that's my understanding, is that you sign it over to Kestrel and it's the same terms.
Yeah, so it wouldn't matter to you either way, is what it sounds like, because you're going to get your agreed upon consideration is what I'm hearing you say.
It's either conservation land or it's another house, you know? I can't say one way or another what I would like.
No, I'm not asking you to do that, but I'm just simply saying that you have an agreed to price of $215,000. So either Mr. Ramos is going to pay you, or the Kestrel Land Trust is going to pay you $215,000. I think that's the bottom line for you, correct?
Or Holyoke, you know? Yeah, if you guys would have to sign it over to Kestrel, basically, and make that happen.
That's
quickly.
right.
Yeah.
That's the obvious part. But what Kestrel is saying in here is that they want to take the city of Holyoke's option to buy it. So that's why.
Correct.
So Holyoke's not going to buy it. So that's not going to happen. Okay, so that's not an option. So the option is either sell it to Mr. Ramos, as I said, or sell it to Kestrel Land Trust, as I said. Okay, so that's what I'm trying to. I don't know why we're dancing around this. So City of Holyoke is in no position. Is it Linda? You okay?
No, I have.
Linda, I'm speaking. I'm
I hear
speaking.
you.
You're gesturing all over the
I
place.
hear you. I have a
Let me just
question.
finish what I got.
All right, one person at a time here. Councilor Bartley has the floor. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
I'm going to step back.
No, that's okay. It's all love here. It's all love, Mr. Mulcahy. Don't worry about it.
Well, I've
okay.
already said too much, so I'm going to just step back, okay? If there's any specific questions that I can help with, but I'm going to let you guys handle this.
Thank you, Mr. Mulcahy.
Yeah,
Thank you. Have a nice night.
Okay, I don't think I have too many other specific questions for this. I'm just kind of curious as to how Kestrel got involved with something like this. So once we take up number 6, I guess
All right.
we'll talk to Kestrel.
Thank you, Councilor Bartley. Councilor Bacon?
Yes, so I just wanted to clarify that the only party that has the right of first refusal is the city. If there's a secondary thing to happen, that's a secondary thing, because my understanding, unless,
The city has a right to pass its
city.
right of refusal to another organization, and they passed
Right.
it to Kestrel. So that's what's on the table.
Right.
Yeah, that's all.
but it's only the city that has the first right of refusal,
Correct.
right?
Yeah, and they can.
Thank you, that's all,
they
I
can
just
give
wanted
that to someone, right?
clarify
Yeah.
that. Thank you.
Other questions? Oh, I see Councilor McGrath Smith has her hand up. Welcome, Councilor McGrath Smith.
Thank you. And I hope you can hear me. I'm at a Cub Scouts camp.
Are you really? I couldn't tell by your shirt.
So I'm hoping that everyone can hear me. So my question was for, hopefully it's okay to ask Bridget Likely to speak from Kestrel, because I know we took up item 5 and 6 of the package. My question is whether it's a true binary of it is like a for sale, that becomes a house, or it's conserved land. When I looked through the documentation, it looked like Kestrel was very open to conserving what's conservable in that section of land and then creating a buildable lot with frontage towards the road. So I just wanted to get clarification on that. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor. Bridget, if you could answer that question, welcome this evening.
Thank you. Yes, I'm happy to speak to that. So as we've formally stated in our letter, we are open to, our intent would be to pre-acquire the land at the bona fide offer of $215. and then encumber it 70% of the land as is required by Chapter 61 with protection, which would be under conservation restriction would be our intent. And then we would leave the remainder unencumbered and sell the entire thing. And so it's possible the frontage could be developed still.
And so just as a quick follow-up, that would mean that the, current buyer, based on what I just heard Adam Mulcahy say, it seems actually like the buyer might also have been in a similar situation where only a certain amount of the land is developable. So I think it makes sense for us to move forward with Kestrel, knowing that we can have both. We can have conserved land, but we can also see that frontage towards the road be potentially developed into a parcel. That makes sense to me. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor McGrath-Smith. Other questions? Councilor Bartley, I saw your hand first.
I'll follow Ms. Bacon.
Councilor Bacon.
Thank you. So my question is just a legal, technical one. In terms of the land now being one chunk of land, it would have to be probably divided, maybe an approval not required. But I'm not sure how the city, in exercising its first right of refusal, would then be able to accomplish dividing the property and then making part of it saleable. And maybe our legal counsel could weigh in on that and how that could be accomplished.
Sure, Councilor Bacon. Yeah, we've had this discussion a couple of times
Right.
now, and it seems like from what I understand, we're giving the right of refusal to Kestrel. Kestrel has agreed to preserve the parts of the land that are preservable and create a buildable, have available a buildable lot at the front. But Councilor Bissonnette is online, and I imagine he can better answer this
Well, it
legally.
just wasn't clear to me how that would be able to be accomplished and then come back to the city if then.
It wouldn't come back to the city ever.
Okay.
It's gone.
I just
But
wasn't
Kestrel
clear
would
how that
would
would work.
establish conservation land, and that would stay permanent. And then the parts that aren't conservable, that don't fit under the conservation land stuff, would be buildable.
So you're saying Kestrel would then send it and take the money for the land?
I imagine they would resell it, but with the stipulations on it that it's now conservation land from, this specific portion is now conservation land. So even if somebody else bought it, it would be conservation land.
Well, no, I'm referring to the buildable portion of the land.
That wouldn't be conservation land.
Right, so, but it would be owned by Kestrel, so then they would be selling it.
Right, technically, that's what I understand. Counselor, Solicitor Bissonnette?
That's absolutely correct.
Yeah.
The transfer of the right of first refusal to Kestrel means that they're going to step into the shoes of the city. However, unlike the city, Kestrel will then move to take, Bridget, I think it's around 7.8 acres that's going to go into conservation. There'll be a portion that's remaining after that conservation removal, and that portion will be eligible for the zone change to accommodate some residential development, similar to other similarly suited parcels in that area. So I think that's the intent going forward. Sort of like having your cake and eating it too, I suppose, for the city. And for the current owner, I think they may have an opportunity to make this have a happy ending. And I think for those of us interested in the environment, further conservation efforts are always appreciated. So appreciate Kestrel partnering with us yet again on another project. So thanks, Bridget.
Counselor Bartley?
Yeah, just quick through the chair to Attorney Bissonnette. Mike, what's the current zoning?
I believe it's agricultural because of the 61A. This is coming out of the 61A tax waiver law, and we'll recapture those missed taxes when this sells. I believe, geez, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't know if we.
It's
That's
agricultural.
okay. I don't know if we have an agricultural zone per se. We have zones that say for residential R1.
We have
R2,
RA.
RA. Yeah,
Residential agriculture,
So
right?
if it is zone RA, then you don't have to come back and change the zone to build on the 3-acre parcel where it's already there. So there wouldn't be a zone change consequence. And if I just may address my friend Councilor Bacon's question, I'm going to try to do it because this is my question too. But actually, before I do that, just through the chair to the Kestrel Land Trust, how did your organization become aware of this? And why are you interested?
So we've outlined the conservation values of the land in our letter. So it has certainly significant habitat value, wetlands with the brook running through it, and also the scenic value of the farmland that's possible to be developed. The New England National Scenic Trail also runs through the back of it, so we see it protecting the scenic trail corridor as well. So that's our interest, and we were approached by the Conservation Commission, who has expressed support and interest in seeing this land conserved.
Okay, so the Conservation Commission, somebody from the Conservation Commission reached out to you?
Yes.
Okay, and it'd probably be our Conservation Commissioner?
Yes.
Okay, all right, so that's one thing. Second off, just through the chair to my friend Linda Bacon. So first off, Kestrel Land Trust can say whatever it wants to say about 10 acres of land, and we're gonna hold in abeyance the 3 acres, but they're under no legal, moral, or any other obligation to put that back out there. So what could happen is that Kestrel could buy this for $215,000. Kestrel could then take the 3 acres that is not conservation, and because Kestrel doesn't need the 61A anymore, and Kestrel will then turn around in a private sale and sell that parcel to whomever it wanted to. I guess my question is, from the City of Holyoke's perspective, how in the world does that benefit the City of Holyoke? In my opinion, you've got now a parcel of land that would be at least probably assessed at least for the consideration given, $215,000. The person buying it already cannot develop. So never mind this conservation, environmental stuff. That's everybody feels good about that. He can't build on there anyhow. Cannot build on there anyhow. He can only build on the portion that's on the road, the 3 acres. So why in the world would we want to give up our right, transfer our right? And I don't know what the consideration is here. I think it's just for nothing. What is Kestrel offering to hold? Well, I'll ask the person, Kestrel, what are you offering to, because I don't see it here, what are you offering to the City of Holyoke to purchase this option?
I mean, we're offering to match the value that the current buyer is offering, and in turn, providing permanent protection for the backland.
No, but what are you offering to this? You're buying, so that's a contract between Mr. Mulcahy and Mr. Ramos. That's that contract. What are you offering? So the City of Holyoke has the option. What are you offering in terms of consideration to the City of Holyoke to purchase the option? Anything?
I mean, the Conservation Commission and the Planning Board have expressed interest in seeing this land conserved, and so we're offering to meet their express interests.
Okay, I appreciate. So the answer is zero. The answer is absolutely zero being offered by Kestrel Land Trust to the City of Holyoke to purchase an option to continue. Now, I appreciate the fact that they're involved in a contract, but by doing that, we would be taking a vote to undermine a private contract between Mr. Ramos and Mr. Mulcahy Trust. Boy, talk about nerve. I don't know where Mr. Ramos is. I don't even know if he was noticed to this meeting. I don't even know if he had to be noticed to this meeting. I don't see any, it's not a public hearing. So that is undermining a private contract between Mr. Ramos of Walnut Street, Holyoke, Mass, and Mulcahy Land Trust. Mulcahy, we already heard, he doesn't care. He's going to get his money regardless. It's a contract. And if Mr. Ramos can't fulfill the contract, then Mr. Mulcahy would go back out to the market and deal with it. Kestrel, meanwhile, because I got a call from Yoni, and they get a call from Yoni. By the way, you can come in and buy our option, and they're offering 0 to the city of Holyoke. And what we just heard is, well, we'll conserve it. Well, I've got news for you. The land's going to be conserved anyhow because you can't do anything with it. So I just feel like this is really beyond the pale. I'm not going to even ask Kestrel how many times they've taken parcels that they bought and then carved it back out and sold it to private land. I bet that doesn't happen too often because that's not their mission. Their mission is to take land and pull it off the tax rolls in perpetuity. No more taxes at all for there. And I heard the solicitor say, well, geez, we all want to have environmental stuff. But we run a government. We have to raise taxes. And Kestrel comes to us with 0. That's on the record. Now, I know people don't like it when I raise my voice, but when I see a deal like this where Holyoke gets nothing, but now with this deal, if we approve it, they'll get less than nothing, because at least with Mr. Ramos, it goes into a private hands and can be taxed. So you better come up, let me rephrase that. We better come up with a justification to give it besides the environmental part, okay? I've said it now 5 times. It's going to be conserved anyhow. So put that right off the table. It's going to be conserved.
All right, thank you, Councilor Bartley. And I'd just like to remind us that we are not on trial here.
Come on, man. Come on.
Please keep it down.
Well, have Rick Purcell come in. He'll be a great help to us.
Come on.
Thanks for your endorsement. Well, then don't be lecturing me. How dare you?
I'm just saying, you don't need to yell at us. We're just trying to figure this out.
Nobody's yelling at you.
Well, then who are you
Come on, guys. Come on.
Nobody's yelling at you. Don't take it personal. Come on. Go on.
Councilor Sullivan, you had a question a while ago. I didn't realize you'd be waiting so long. Sorry.
Yeah, there's a question for Attorney Bissonette. You there, Mike?
Yes, ma'am. Hi, Counselor.
Yeah, so my concern is here, what I'm hearing from Kestrel is that, they're open to this and they have intent to do that. But if we were to give this option to Kestrel, what guarantees do we have, intent option? But at the end of the day, they can pretty much say, we thought about it, we don't want to do that. Is there some, in transferring this option, is there some legal mechanism we can attach to it to make sure they do follow through on that? Is number one. And number two, I'm also concerned about kind of the wording on it also, is that leave the front 3 acres open for a single house lot development. All right, that's a lot for one house on 3 acres, and that should be up to the buyer whether it gets divided into 3 lots or 1 lot, in my opinion. But how do we get, in this short period of time, how do we get a guarantee that they follow through on it when they could just do really whatever they want? Intent and open to means nothing to me.
I think we have to hold them to the specifics of their letter. That's their letter of engagement seeking the right to step into the city's shoes and frankly pay the $250 compensation price as the pro tanto for this land. I note that it's in Chapter 61A, so right now we're not getting anything for it, but there is, I believe, up to 3 acres that may or may not be fully developable. Whether you can squeeze 2 or 3 lots in there, I wouldn't be able to say right now. But we can bind them through that letter to seek commercial development, residential development, residential development of those exempted acres. So I think that's something we would put in the letter of transition, saying that we are forwarding to you the city's right. But certainly the council has the ability to add that stipulation to its instruction that the city should proceed to transfer it to Kestrel, subject to whatever you want to add, subject to the conditions that are in their letter, subject to any additional conditions you may want to add. So there's some options.
And is one of the things that we've done with other pieces of property, if it's Kestrel's intent to turn around and resell it with these restrictions, right? If they resell it for a higher price, can we also put in a clause that that excess price is split with the city or something to that effect, which has been done in other contracts?
Yeah, I don't want to opine on that offhand, Counselor. My concern there is that the $215 that they're going to pay encompasses all of the land at appraised value. So splitting out 3 acres is not something we're able to do at this time to put a market price on it. And I'm not sure that, without thinking about it, researching it a little bit more, whether that would be something that we could add to a 61A right of first refusal agreement. So I'm a little concerned about that portion. But city would certainly get tax benefits. And I would imagine a pretty nice house would go on that parcel.
Thank you. Counselor Bacon? I'm sorry. It was Counselor Jordan, then Counselor Bacon. My bad. Yeah.
Thank you. Again, I think if we articulate the 2 options that we have to consider is the do-nothing option. The do-nothing option is Mr. Ramos just purchases this property and Mr. Ramos lives happily ever after. Option 2 is since we're not going to purchase it, we do this Kestrel option where they're articulating certain representations of they're going to divide the 10 acres, 7 for themselves, 3 for the front. We don't know, is Mr. Ramos then going to buy this from them afterwards? We don't know that. He might say, no, I'm not interested anymore. We don't know what the second further on down the trough sale price would be. Does putting the 7-acre restriction now on the overall 10 diminish the overall taxable value of the property? So for example, to the city, if we let it go to Mr. Ramos, presumably the land value, since this is no building today, that it would have an assessable value of the $215, which is what he's paying for it, plus any improvements he makes on it. He may subdivide it. That would bring additional tax revenue. We don't know what restrictions Kestrel would put on the property. If we allow it to go to them, they might put additional so that the value of the land is no longer $215, but something less than $215. We don't know that. I don't know if anybody's done these economic analyses on it. Obviously, my intent here, certainly as I'm considering these options, is 1, we have a serious residential demand for citizens here in the city. If we can, I don't know if Mr. Ramos's intent, it would have been helpful. Was he noticed, by the way, to this? Do we know that? I don't know if Jeff.
I'm not sure.
He was not. This was presented to me as the discussion between the city departments and Kestrel, so I wasn't asked to invite Mr. Ramos.
Mr. Ramos has rights here. I don't know. I mean, if Mr. Ramos realized, but there's only a yin and a yang here. There's only an A and a B, right? So it's either this is going to Mr. Ramos or this is not going to Mr. Ramos and this is going to Kestrel through us, right? So Mr. Ramos is definitely a party in interest to this transaction, because if we don't do anything and we allow this to sit, Mr. Ramos is going to get this property on the 28th of August, right? This transaction will go through. So that's concerning to me if Mr. Ramos hasn't been noticed of this proceedings. I'll put that on the side for the moment, because it would be nice to know what's behind door number 1, the do nothing option for the city, right? Which is essentially, what's Mr. Ramos's intent? I guess the only thing we could take anecdotally is maybe he's made some statements to Mr. Mulcahy, who's the seller on behalf of the Mulcahy Trust, if he said what he plans to do with it. I don't know if that's anywhere in the record, but is he planning on having one single family home there and then the rest is going to be just land? And or is he intending to subdivide this into 3 1-acre lots, if that's even possible? It would be nice for us to know what option 1 with Mr. Ramos actually is. And then we weigh these considerations for the best of the city, because my objective here is get the most homes, and is it rather bit of a moot point on the back 7 acres if it's in a conservation restriction versus there's already so many de facto restrictions it couldn't be developed anyways, then this is less of a concern, and now I'm more concerned about what happens really to the front 3. So I see Mr. Mulcahy was kind enough to pop on here. Again, Mr. Mulcahy, if I may, through the chair, do you know anything about Mr. Ramos's intention for the property at this point, or whatever you may have heard?
Yeah, I believe it's just to build a single-family residence. But I'm not sure, and it's none of my business to ask.
Right.
He made me an offer on the land. We accepted. It's really none of my business at that point. And, this is kind of between the city and Kestrel. This was a public meeting as far as Mr. Ramos being notified. This is all public record. I wasn't notified of this meeting tonight. I did the work and found out where it was and came here.
Oh, well,
thank you.
Yeah, appreciate that, but I think that's not appropriate. I'm going to put it out there. I feel it's not appropriate that you weren't specifically noticed. Okay.
That's legally, it's not, I'm not supposed to be. It's my job to find this information.
Yeah. We're going again, the city's policymakers like us, we sit in these chairs and are asked to weigh options that are in the best interest of taxpayers. In order for us to effectively do that, we need to have full informed decisions with full information from all of our options. In order to get to what option 1 is, the do nothing option, we need to have what that is. And that involves, if you don't know what Mr. Ramos, that's fine. It's not your concern. But you should have, in my opinion, be notified of this meeting, whether the statute requires that or not. Mr. Ramos should be notified of the meeting, whether the statute requires it or not, and Kestrel should be notified, so that we have all these in the council, when we're weighing these, has access to all the people to ask all the questions, so that we can do what's best for taxpayers and for this parcel and the neighbors. That's our job. That's us doing our due diligence. You do your due diligence, collect $215 from Mr. Ramos and walk away. That's your decision. But we have due diligence here. So we don't know. Our best guess or best knowledge is Mr. Ramos perhaps going to do a single family home. I mean, I don't know. I guess I would have liked to hear it. Jeffrey, can you get me the phone number for Mr. Ramos? Because I'd like to talk to Mr. Ramos, and I'd like to find out what's going to happen with that parcel, because I think that would be helpful for me to make up my decision on whether the do nothing option is better than the Kestrel option. So I just need more information, but thank you everyone for helping.
Thank you, Councilor Jordan. Councilor Bacon?
So I have a general Chapter 61A question, because my understanding about 61A is that the whole property is under 61A. So what I'm looking to understand is how a piece of it could come out of 61A. And I'm hearing that Kestrel could get it out of 61A, but it almost sounded like a private owner couldn't. But if one group can, then anybody should be able to, right? So I'm a little confused about the 61A, because I thought once it got put into that, I would like to understand how you can get it out of that.
Yeah.
Huh?
That's valid, because Councilor Bacon, I've been under the impression that without Kestrel purchasing this property, the conservation aspect of it would not be in place. And so I'm under the impression that the private sale would would allow it to come out of 61A and allow that private owner to do whatever they like with the property, even if there's sections that aren't developable. It doesn't actually protect the environment. So now, if, whatever they do on that 10 acres, it's their property. They can do whatever they want within the limits of the law.
Yeah, you can't build in wetlands.
Right. So you wouldn't be able to build, but that doesn't mean it protects it. It protects the animals or the water sources or anything like that in that area. So I think that's where Kestrel has come in and kind of said, like, that's their job. That's what they would do. I don't really understand how that can be enforced with a private owner.
See, I guess if maybe Attorney Bissonnette could weigh in, I didn't realize the 61A covenant, or whatever you call it, went away with a property transfer.
It does, yes.
So I just never realized that. I thought once it was 61A, it was 61A. So, but anytime a property is sold, it goes away. And the new person has to apply for it. Because my understanding of it is most people apply for it because then they pay a lot less taxes on the land, right? So that's why a property owner usually applies for 61A. Because you can't build on it, so they don't want to pay so many taxes on it.
Right.
Is that understanding that I have correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it is.
Okay, so now I know something new, that if the property is sold, that whole category goes away. Thank you.
So it's in the best interest of any owner to apply for 61A if they have property that's not developable
Right.
on their land. So it
So-
sounds like this could, regardless of what happens, it would
probably
He might do the same thing.
Probably would.
Yeah.
I'm so happy we're talking about this.
Coco, could I?
Yes, of course. Councilor Jordan.
Yeah, to the nice lady from Kestrel, if I could ask a couple more questions, please. You heard what Attorney Bissonnette said, that if we did take option B, which is to go with Kestrel, that we could put these conditions in place essentially to protect the representations that are being made to us. You're comfortable with that if we were to do that?
I mean, I think we can commit to selling the frontage on the market. I don't know how well we can enforce what happens with the frontage once it's purchased. So.
Right.
Right.
But
Right. So my question is Kestrel, though, say we transfer it to you and you do this 3 acre versus 7 acre split, which seems reasonable. Are you looking to put any restrictions on the 3 acres different than what perhaps Mr. Ramos would have? You see, obviously, our concern is Holyoke doesn't have large swaths to have nice homes and high valued taxable homes, and we preciously tried to guard the ability to get more residents and more property taxes and more good residential homes into the city. So you would be willing to keep this relatively restriction free, this 3 acres in the front, sort of as it is today, and that we would be able to then you know, you would put it out there for sale, presumably, because it won't be us putting it out. You're going to put it out for sale and then, or have it subdivided. I don't know if you've even looked into that. Maybe make it 3 1-acre parcels or 2 1.5-acre parcels. Have you looked into the question of how many homes could go in that 3 acres? And number 2 is, are you looking to put any restrictions that would in any way impede residential development there?
We haven't looked into the subdivision possibilities of the frontage. I don't think our intent would be to subdivide it. I think we would sell it as the 3-acre lot. Or even, you know, I think in our letter, we say we sell the whole thing. It would stay one parcel with the conservation restriction on it.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So the back land would be encumbered, but we have no intent to encumber the frontage with anything further than what zoning already has on it.
Okay. All right. So you heard my little dialogue of the do nothing option versus the go with Kestrel option. Is there any downside, or do you think there's any diminishing of the value by us going with Kestrel? Because I'm very sympathetic to the environment. I am a big animal lover and very much anything I can do to support wildlife and animals and all of that. I'm definitely sympathetic to the cause. But at the same time, I'm also balancing these things against the needs of the community, which is certainly more taxes, more residents, more residential. And that's why, you know, this front acreage is important as well. So is there any downside in your view from us giving it to Kestrel versus having it with Mr. Ramos? Do you feel the value, the totality of the value would be diminished in terms of like us taxing it at $215,000? Or play the devil's advocate argument, if you will, with me. What is the downside to selling it to Kestrel, if you would?
Yeah, I mean, I can't say whether with the back acreage encumbered with the CR, if that would affect the appraised value. It's possible it would go down, but then were the frontage to be developed, I'm sure that would change the value again.
Right.
And I can say that while Kestrel does own the land, we wouldn't seek a tax abatement, so that still would be tax revenue coming in during the brief period of time that we would acquire it and then seek to sell it. So yeah, we're really not looking to diminish the tax revenue for the city, just simply to protect that back acreage.
What is that in the possibility? Councilor Sullivan touched on it. For example, real estate is in tremendous demand today, and this is it's a beautiful area. So the question is, if Kestrel were to come into some sort of windfall, we sell it to you for $215,000, and then you turn around and sell it to somebody who says, you know, I want to put my dream home on this 3 acres with this protected area in the back, and they buy it for $315,000, for example. Would Kestrel be open to sharing or splitting those profits with the city?
It's not a scenario I'm experienced with, and we have our own sort of requirements as a nonprofit in terms of not, you know, undue benefit. So I'm not even sure, you know, how much profit we could make from a sale like that. So it's something I would have to look into further.
Okay. It's just, I don't know, I don't have an appraisal or anything to justify the $215,000 number. Maybe, you know, it's obviously an arm's length transaction, but I don't know if that is the market price. And perhaps by the time you do all of these transactions and it goes out there and it's sold, I don't know, next spring or whatever it is that this all goes down in, to put the maneuvers in place, you know, with more advertising or whatever, somebody comes along and says, boy, this is great. I'll buy this 10 acres and I'll pay all this extra for the, you know, I would just like to protect, you know, we could perhaps share in this windfall if there were a windfall, you know.
Yeah, no, certainly. It's something I think we'd have to explore more, but, you know, to the best of our ability, we want to be a good partner to the city of Holyoke. We appreciate our partnership in the past and want to work in good faith, so.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Councilor Bacon?
Thank you. I guess I just have a comment. After everything that I've heard, and now I have a better understanding of some of the legalities than I had before, it seems to me that both potential buyers seem to have, to me, very similar intentions of what they would do with the land. And since that is my perception, I am likely to have trouble voting against a purchase and sale agreement that has already been made with a buyer. I mean, I appreciate what Kestrel is saying, and I see no, I'm not reading any intent or anything into anything, but I'm hearing there's only maybe up to 3 acres that are developable no matter what. It's 61A, and I can't imagine why on earth any owner wouldn't keep the other part in 61A, and that's going to protect it. And based on the one thing I do know about 61A is that the owner does have certain obligations that they have to do with the land, to certain things. So I guess that's just my comment. Thank you.
Thank you, Counselor. Counselor Sullivan?
Yeah. Bridget, why didn't Kestrel, like any other purchaser or buyer, just make its own offer to the owner?
At the time, we couldn't come up with the funding. We didn't have a funding plan in place before the other offer was made. So we did look at options when it went on the market, and we just couldn't get the pieces together in time. And so instead, we've come together through the Chapter 61 process.
Yeah, I mean, that would have avoided all this drama. Okay, I just was wondering why you didn't just make a competitive offer. It would have been in, obviously, Mulcahy's favor to have a couple of bidders on it and follow the regular process of any other real estate transaction. But instead of us being the one to just take it away from a buyer and hand it to somebody else for the same price. So, that's my only comment.
Yeah, thank you. All right. I don't see any other hands up online. Have we all gotten all the information we need in this room? Okay, so after this lengthy discussion, and it seems like we've all kind of weighed how we feel about the sale. It's sounding more and more like we're not heavily on one side of the other, because it seems to us as a city, it seems so like it's going to have a very similar outcome. For a private buyer, it would obviously make a bigger difference in their life. So I guess I'm curious what the will of this body is. I haven't heard from Councilor Burgos or Councilor Anderson Burgos or Councilor Devine. Do you have any thoughts or feelings on this?
I do.
Councilor Anderson Burgos.
Hi. Not so much. I mean, this is a tricky one. What I'm hearing is the potential purpose and what sounds like. God, I don't want to disrupt the room, if you know what I mean. What sounds like accusations as opposed to finding another foot forward with helping both the buyer and, the seller. So I'm going to try to just keep my comments to myself, but I feel like this one's a bit tricky just because of the accusations that were made, and I think it's unfair to all the parties. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Anderson Burgos. Are you referring to the comments that there's zero benefit to the city if it's sold to Kestrel?
Yes.
Okay, thanks. It just clears that up and makes it real easy to figure out what we're talking about. Yeah, I don't know that there's a huge advantage either way to the city. I mean, either way, there's going to be a front lot with a house paying taxes, and either way, there's going to be a back lot that you can't build on, and somebody's either going to apply to not pay more taxes on it, or somebody's going to conserve it and put a label on it that also won't pay as much taxes on it. So I hear you loud and clear. It sounds like we maybe want to send this without recommendation to the full city council. Does
That would work.
Councilor Anderson Burgos, I didn't hear you.
I would agree with that statement you just made. Sorry for speaking out
That's
of order.
okay. That's all right. Councilor Sullivan, what do you think? Oh, Councilor Georgian?
I think, I'm going to try, and if we can get a phone number for Mr. Ramos, for me, I would love to hear his perspective. Like, he's like...
It's probably on this purchase and sales agreement.
Yeah, I'm going to have to really look into this because, he's like, oh, I wanted to buy this and this was going to be my dream home, and my wife and I and the kids, we went up there and I don't know what Mr. Ramos's story is at all, or what his vision for it, and maybe we're stomping on this guy's dreams.
Well, and his current address is downtown, so yeah, I could see that same vision. Yeah,
it's like you feel bad for this guy, like in a way, because like he was all set to buy this, and now if we go the other direction, there's no guarantee he ends up with this down the road, and I want to at least take that into consideration, and I would have loved to hear from him, or he could give the council a letter, and at least then you can weigh and say, like, we at least considered his impact to this individual, in this, and it just feels like we're changing something he wanted to do, and we have not heard the Mr. Ramos piece of this. This equation. So I'm going to try if I can to get.
And maybe we can get him to come to public speaking tomorrow, even if by Zoom. I feel like we'll be able to reach out to him. So I think that's valid.
Exactly. That would just make me feel a little better.
Councilor Bacon.
Thank you. For whatever it's worth, he made a fair market offer, which was accepted. After the fact, another party was invited into the room, and I hold nothing against the other party.
Of course not.
But I just don't think it's a fair process to yank the purchase and sale agreement from the initial buyer. I don't know any of the players one way or the other. That's just
if it's like
how
a
it looks
first
to me.
come, first serve thing, then he should have been.
Well,
if it's not a higher offer, then why? Yeah, I hear you.
Well, and it was after the purchase and sale agreement was entered. It wasn't an open, it wasn't for sale anymore.
Right.
Per se. I mean, the window was open, the window closed. Kestrel didn't have the money to make an offer, so they didn't, is what I heard. I mean, that's what I heard tonight. So that's just my perspective. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Mulcahy?
Yeah, their attorney was aware of the Chapter 61 and everything. Their realtor was informed of the meeting tonight. I just want to clarify that.
Okay,
the
thank
buyer's
you.
not completely in the dark on that. And they knew, that there was 120 days. It's right there in the purchase and sale that the city has the right to first refusal and all of this stuff. I just want it to be known. Thank you.
That's very helpful. Thank you.
In the packet.
Oh, okay.
So there's a phone number here. It looks like Jeffrey Giel, Uiel, is the attorney for Mr. Ramos. So
Excellent.
I'll try and make a phone call. See,
Cool.
be interested just to hear what they say.
Jeffrey, I saw your hand was up. I'm sorry. Did you still have something?
Yeah, I was actually just going to make the same point Councilor Georgine did, that there's a
great.
phone number in the packet for the attorney.
Okay, thank you. Well, then do we feel comfortable sending it without recommendation?
Yeah.
Is that okay?
Yeah, motion to move to the council without recommendation.
All right. Do I hear a second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
All right.
All right. Well, no rec. Sweet.
Motion to take up item number 7.
Guess I'll second that. All in favor? Aye.
All right.
Item 7, Councilors Jordan and Bacon ordered that the city clerk meet with city council to discuss the streamlining of poll locations. as we've done in wards 3, 4, 6, and 7. These wards seem to function fine with one location, and it would be potentially cost saving and less administrative burden to use the one location per ward method. There was extensive discussion. This was referred back to committee on June 3rd. And I was one of the votes to send it back to committee. I had hoped that we would be able to take up the merging or the changing of location for Ward 4. That will not happen timely, as I wasn't able to coordinate meetings with the city clerk in order to move that Ward 4 change forward. So whether or not that still happens, I don't want it to affect this item that we thoroughly discussed already.
Right.
So if there's something anyone would like to add to this discussion, I'm open to it. Otherwise, I'd say let's send it back to council so we can vote on it tomorrow, hopefully.
Yeah, by the way, on a side note, can we do the YMCA change for this year, or we have to wait for another?
I'm not sure. I was under the impression it needed to be out of committee before August was out. I did put it on the. I did put it in as an order finally, and I'm gonna try to speak to the city clerk again and see if there's a date by which if we could have a quick meeting about it and get it back to the council. But I'm not sure if we're gonna be able to swing it.
That was a good suggestion on your part.
Oh, thanks. I tried. Just poor.
It's not easy to find those locations, so if they're willing to do it, that's
they're willing to do it, and I think it's just been a matter of dates and times for all the parties who I think whose info is important in the discussion to be able to come to a meeting. Then there's meetings on other nights, so it's just things haven't been lining up. But it is going to be in council, so I guess if it didn't require lengthy discussion, we may be able to pull it out and vote on it at that right away. But I mean, we'll have to see how our meetings go this month, I guess.
So,
Councilor Bacon.
Thanks. So on this order, I didn't really get any additional feedback after the last city council meeting. I can't say
about the Ward 2 merge.
Merging the voting locations into one. I don't know how much attention people were paying to it. I didn't do a big outreach throughout the ward, but I do know that people who currently live right across the street from McMahon School have to vote at Donahue.
Right.
Now, there's some people that walk to McMahon to vote from the other side of the street, and so they would be more inconvenienced. But I would say the vast majority of the people drive to the site.
Right.
Vote.
Can you turn that off?
But there were other concerns. I'm sorry. Oh, I tried to turn it down, but it keeps doing it. This is what happens when you donate money. They always ask you for more. No. Anyway, but there were other concerns raised. Relative to the other wards as well. So I don't know if those have been resolved.
I know one of my questions was just having more data on the actual effect that it would have on people, like how many people actually voted each location. I know Councilor Ocasio was concerned about people having to walk, to the opposite end of their ward to vote. So, but she didn't seem convinced that either of the two polling locations was used more or less. She just, had mentioned that they're both in use, and she didn't necessarily want to see one of them go. But it's also a cost savings, and our wards are not that big. I mean, it's like a 2-mile radius downtown.
I will say in Ward 5, 5A has a higher turnout that votes at McMahon than at Donahue.
Right.
So but they're driving to McMahon, and it might be a little bit more distance to drive over to Donahue. But they are already having to drive. So,
well, and I think we were talking about too in some of the downtown wards, there's more pedestrian traffic to a lot of these locations. So with the sidewalks being not so great and people not always having the best, accessibility, I think that was a concern as well.
Well, I will say if, I guess we should do it maybe all one way or leave it the way it is.
Yeah. Counselor Jordan.
Yeah, I mean, my suggestion is ultimately to go forward, but I have no problem if we don't have to do this for this year. We can
Yeah.
do it for next year. And then you give everybody like a year's notice.
Right.
Yes.
And so maybe why don't we, I would be in favor of making that as one of our recommendations that we do move forward, but
not
do
right
it for 2026. And then this way,
Yeah.
leave good enough alone. It's kind of late in the process. This order was filed, obviously 6 months ago.
Right.
And
And that would have been
now
a better time to have plenty of
Exactly.
notice.
Yeah. And then, even like the YMCA change or
Right.
these other ones, maybe we do it for next year. And so, yeah, maybe we make
Yeah.
it effective for next year.
I think that's reasonable. That was my thought too. Like, this isn't
Yeah.
there's no urgency
Exactly.
with this. So
Yeah.
I'd hate for people to show up to their polling place and
We have a lot more
having it
notice
had
time.
just
Yeah.
switched, and not
Right,
realize
right.
it.
And
you know?
any change tends to create some confusion.
Right. So if we
Exactly.
can tell people way in advance and then remind them right
Exactly.
before they vote, it's helpful.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that idea.
Yeah.
as well.
Counselor Sullivan?
Yeah, no, I'm fine with that also, but all the other arguments about walking sidewalks and everything with mail-in voting,
Yeah.
Right.
all of that to me has become moot, and especially in Ward 2, I'd be more concerned going to one location. They're both small locations. It's the people, if you think about Ward 2, it stretches all the way out to the West Springfield border along Main Street also.
Right.
So they're having to drive.
Yeah.
Right, so it's more of a parking
That's a good
issue at
point.
both those other, that's my only comment.
Yeah. Yeah. Every ward has its logistical challenges.
But with mail-in voting, it kind of negates a lot of the other problems with having two locations.
Yeah, and with the early voting as well, that makes it
And early
easier for
voting,
people.
yeah.
Thank you, Counselor Sullivan. I see Counselor Rivera's hand up. Counselor Rivera?
Yeah, do we have a number of how much money we're actually saving? Like, is it thousands and thousands of dollars, or is it just a couple of dollars when we're doing this? Because ideally, I think for me, it's like, for some people, they're already accustomed to where it's at. If it's two different poles, I think one of the points that Councilor Vacan says, like, you have people that have been going to McMahon and walking there for years. Just because, I mean, are we really saving that much money that we're going to inconvenience the voter and change the way they've done things for that long? I think for me, and I think in Ward 1, when I think about it, a lot of the people in the flats would probably not go up the hill to go vote if you move it up the hill, even though they already vote in the flats. You get what I'm saying? Like, it kind of plays with the numbers in a certain way that is different. Obviously, it's anything that's different, it's gonna be a change, and it's gonna change the numbers. But for communities that are already low voter turnout, for me, I don't think that this would help out in the long term. Yeah, it would save money, but it's not like it's saving hundreds of thousands of dollars. You know what I'm saying? It's like a couple pennies on the dollar, if that's the case. But I just kind of wanted to point that out, because it is true that some people could transport, and maybe some people do mail-in ballots, but I know a lot of people in Ward 1 and Ward 2 that will not do mail-in ballots because it doesn't make sense to them. But I agree that there is the opportunity for people to take advantage of it, but just because the opportunity is there doesn't mean that someone will take advantage of it. But yeah, just wanted to put that out there.
Thank you, Counselor Rivera. Counselor Jordan?
Yeah, couple of points. One is the city clerk, when we first had the lengthy meeting and discussion, walked through a lot of the significant costs that relate to police, to storage of the units, to just moving a lot of stuff around, to having additional wardens. There is definitely significant, it's in the thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. And I will also say, it's not like, we have elections all the time, right? So it's not like it's a one-shot deal. This is an all-the-time kind of thing where, we have primaries, we have the general elections, special elections, we have a lot of things going on. So there is definitely, I would encourage him to talk to the city clerk about that piece of it. But, again, this is working fine in the other 4 wards. And it seems to me like we would either go one direction or the other, right? Like we'd have 14 polling locations, and I can not certainly during my lifetime, but not certainly while I was in elected office. I mean, the city at one time had like 21 precincts. So we went actually going to 14, and now we've consolidated down quite a bit, to where we're at today. Ward 3 being the most obvious of the ones, the most recent that changed. But we kind of went through all of that at the prior meetings. But there would be definitely a significant cost. And I think it's to bring uniformity across the city, that all of the wards are doing a similar thing, that we're going to basically 7 polling locations for each of the 7 wards as we're doing in the other 4. That's the logic of it. But I don't get any complaints from Ward 7 or Ward 6 or Ward 4 or 3 for that matter that, they don't have multiple locations in their wards. People seem to feel like it's fine and the whole ward votes at one spot.
Thank you, Councilor Jordan. I don't have strong feelings about this, but I think that people who are used to voting in one place will still want to do that regardless. I don't remember the exact figures. I was just trying to find them because I know that that information was shared with us, but I think I think having those numbers in front of us will make the decision easier, quite frankly. Councilor Anderson Burgos.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So I have 2 concerns about this order. My first concern was, and I had mentioned it prior, my first concern was the fact that neither the Ward 1 counselor or the Ward 2 counselor were made aware of this order. And I think that within itself is an issue. Secondly, and I can't stress this enough, Ward 1 and Ward 2 are our most vulnerable population, especially when it comes to voting. This is a section of our city that unfortunately they don't have means of transportation, and any kind of change like this will interrupt these voters. And I might not represent Ward 1 or Ward 2 specifically because I'm the Ward 6 city councilor. But that doesn't mean that I don't understand the troubles that my people face down there in those wards. So I am completely against this. That's all.
Thank you, Councilor. How do we feel about amending this to just change Ward 5 this year?
I'm good with that.
Since, you're present, Councilor Ocasio's not here today.
As I indicated earlier, I think we should either
do it together
well or not do it at all.
Okay. I'm still fine with that. Well then, I guess.
Councilor Devine had her hand up.
Oh, thank you. Councilor Devine, sorry.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. The other thing too that you have to realize, one, I'm thinking of this, is something broken that we have to fix it? And the other thing is every time that a change might go by, that we vote to change the precincts, the city clerk's office has to spend money on sending each individual voter a postcard with a stamp notifying them of the change. So I think you need to keep that in mind. This isn't that simple to just change a precinct. The city clerk also has to make the changes as well. So I kind of think, if it's not broke, why fix it? So thank you.
Thank you, Councilor. Councilor Jordan?
Yeah, so let's just be all crystal clear where this all started. The clerk is in favor of this. She runs the elections. She's the one advocating for this change. So she made a whole presentation, and I, along with Councilor Vacan, filed this after consulting and discussing this whole thing with her. to bring symmetry across all the wards as to what we're doing in 4 out of the 7 wards today, to do it in the others, so that we have a common system that we're operating under. I mean, Brenna can speak for herself. I thought she was quite eloquent at our last time we spoke on this. Again, not do or die. I'm not wedded to all of this. I think the clerk made a very persuasive argument. I think I give a lot of deference to what Brenna says on these things. If we don't want to go forward, I'm already in favor, because this has taken so long. We shouldn't do it for this year anyways, in my opinion. So if we're going to want to get more information or table it or whatever, we can table this. We don't have to vote on this. This is something that just makes, it's worked well in these other wards. But if people want to get more information or more whatever, feel comfortable about whatever, then that's fine. Maybe someone are just, I'll never vote for it, and that's fine too. But on the other hand, this isn't like this is the Kevin idea of the, this has to be this way. I'm not wedded to this by any means, but I thought this made a lot of sense, and I, discussed it with the clerk, and we decided to go forward, because I think it makes a lot of sense in a lot of ways, and it's what we're doing elsewhere. So anyways, that's that. Thank you.
Thank you, Counselor. Counselor Sullivan?
Yeah, so I'm going to make a motion that the order has been complied with. It simply says that the clerk meet with us to discuss the potential of streamlining. We've done that. If there's another order to be filed at a later date where we actually take some action, then we can file a new order. And maybe it's just for 1 ward, maybe it's for 3 wards, however. But right now, I feel the order has been complied with.
Thank you. I heard that order in the second. Counselor Bacon, you had a question?
Thank you. So I just want to also add into what Counselor Jourdain said. The reason that we moved this forward, and it was a long time ago, was because it was working for a majority of the wards. Some that have higher turnout, actually the highest turnout ward, and at least one that has less turnout. So that's why I supported the concept of moving forward in the city so it would be uniform throughout the city, and that I wouldn't carve out Ward 5 as an exception if we were moving from 4 to 7, right? And I did feel that our clerk made a compelling argument relative to cost savings and the challenges recruiting people to work in these various jobs for the polls, as well as now we have many more options for voting than we had 5 years ago. So those were all the reasons why I supported it. Oh, yeah, well, correct. And the other order that I have in the jacket is that if we did move to the uniform 1 voting area, that hopefully we could take some of the money from the savings and give it to the poll workers who I don't think have had an adjustment in a really long time. So it was a bigger thought than one thing.
Right.
But at this point, I agree with everything that was said by folks that it's too late. Regardless of how you wanted to do it, we're coming up on September, and it's just too far into the season at this point. But I think if certainly the committee can call it complied with if you wish, and another order could be filed, or it could be tabled, and then after the election, we could look at it again. But it's the will of the committee.
Well, Counselor Rivera, your hand's up.
Yeah, and thank you again for recognizing me a second time. I just wanted to add on that, again, within Ward 1 and Ward 2, and I think between the both of them, there's probably 5 or 6 different elderly high rises. And that's again, another thing that's a different demographic taken up compared to the rest of the other wards. And just making sure that we're taking that into consideration too in the future. I think in Ward 1 alone, there's probably like 5 buildings that have that the elderly live in alone. So just making sure that we're taking that into consideration when we're making these decisions too as well, because it's not just that, it's a lot of it has to do with just like access. But yeah.
Thank you, Councilor Rivera. So that motion was made and seconded to mark item 6 as complied. I'm sorry, item 7 as complied with. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Thanks. Have a good night.
Motion to take up item number 8.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Item number 8 is in an effort to promote efficiency while upholding quality of life standards, order that the city invite department heads involved with permitting and to review special permit process and complete applications regularly come before DGR. And the current process is incredibly inefficient, wasting 8 to 10 hours per applicant, and the efforts from the clerk's office, planning department, planning board, building, as well as city council subcommittees. Our permitting ordinance should be reviewed and updated if needed. This order was put in by myself in hopes of also having the clerk and people from, well, the clerk in hopes of having the clerk present, someone from building, and a couple other departments. And since I don't see anyone from any other departments we'd need to have this discussion, I would entertain a motion to table this.
So moved.
Yeah, I would just make one comment. If what we saw tonight with what went through with the special permit thing doesn't really explain why we really need to have this meeting with the department heads. I don't know what else does. The 20 conditions, including, sure, I mean, some of this is just out of control. The person from Bernash that's doing this building here in Holyoke was very diplomatic and explained, but I'd like to hear more about why we have some of the hoops that we have to jump through that don't exist in other cities. And I think this is an important order. And I second the motion at table.
Yeah, thank you, Councilor Sullivan. Yeah, I also feel that we are sending people to various offices, and the offices aren't necessarily speaking to each other, and then not necessarily communicating all the information back to us in a way that's easily digested by people who are not experts in building codes and planning and et cetera. So I would love to see something that comes with like a checklist that says if these items are present, if it's signed off by these departments, then it is a complete application, because sometimes even whether or not we're looking at a complete application is not even clear. So.
Agreed.
So with that motion, we are tabling this. All in favor?
All right.
Aye.
Aye.
All right, thanks.
Motion to adjourn. Oh, wait, Jeff has his hands
Oh,
up.
do we have to table this to September 9th, Jeffrey?
Well, it's not a public hearing, so you don't have to specify a date. But we can plan to take it up on that, and I'll look to putting it on that agenda.
Okay. And I'll keep trying to figure out if people can join us.
So I have a technical question though. So you packaged items 5 and 6 together. Were both of those being referred back to the full council? Because I know item 6 was just a letter from Kestrel.
Yes, both of them would be forwarded back to city council with no recommendation.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Well, item 5 is just a letter of its intent. It's just.
Okay.
It's just.
So item 5 would be received and item 6 would be sent with no recommendation?
No, I think 5 was the thing you had to act on because that was what was tabled the last time. 6 is what came from Kestrel explaining their position since that first item.
All right.
So.
I mean, they can both go back. I just wanted to make sure that was the intent.
Yes, so the intent is to get 5 and 6 out of DGR and into city council for tomorrow. And we sent it over with no recommendation because it sounded like there were no strong feelings one way or another about who the purchaser is. Okay, great. The motion was to adjourn. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Have a great night. That was painful.